The NFC East has been the most intriguing division in the league for a while now, in my opinion, for a couple of reasons. One, the Dallas Cowboys are a part of said division, and when are things not intriguing with them? And second, there hasn't been a repeat champ since 2004, and it's been a revolving door. This year, I think that back-to-back drought will continue because I have the Philadelphia Eagles winning the division in 2022. And mind you, I'm making this video before knowing that Dak Prescott got injured. I was going to pick the Eagles regardless. So with that being said, let's continue on. Not only do I think there'll be a problem in their division, but I also think there'll be a problem for the rest of the NFC. Why? Well, they had one of the best off seasons out there of any team in the NFL, as they brought in a star wide receiver, they buffed up their defense, and the offseason should have helped young quarterback Jalen Hurts develop as a player and helped second-year guy Nick Sirianni develop as head coach. Plus, there's more. I will head into that. But first off, make sure y'all like and comment and share, subscribe, man. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers, so any type of engagement, any type of love, any type of support will help me get there as soon as possible, and that'd be the greatest thing for me. And I'll keep pushing out bangers like this. But without further ado, let's get into this video. Now, let me give y'all a couple big reasons why I believe the Eagles will be a legit problem this year. No particular order, but for the first reason, there'll be a much improved roster from the prior couple years. First off, they return with a much improved roster, probably the best roster they've had since they won the Super Bowl. Let's start off with what's new. AJ Brown, of course, was the biggest addition of the team, and he'll do wonders for the Eagles offense. The Pro Bowl wide receiver provides a true number one target, which is something the team lacked last season. Yeah, Devontae Smith showed flashes of greatness, but he still needs another established guy on the other side of him that can free him up and make things easier for him. Speaking of making things easy, AJ will make everything a whole lot easier for Jalen Hurts. He'll give him a target that can not only take the top off the defense, but can be a consistent target in the short and intermediate game. And that's when we're going to see if Jalen Hurts really improved as a passer or not. They have a chance to make the offense a little bit more balanced than what it was last year, as they were heavy on the run game. The Eagles were bottom 5 in passing yards last year, so hopefully AJ Brown, along with Jalen Hurts' development, will change that. Along with a bottom 5 passing attack, they also were bottom 5 in sacks and bottom 5 in opposing quarterback completion percentage. What's new on defense? Well, first off, let's talk about their pass rush. It was absolutely anemic last season. In the year they won a Super Bowl, they had one of the best pass rushes in the game, and if you're not able to get to the quarterback, you better at least be able to be disruptive in the back end, and the Eagles could do none of that last year. So they're very average to subpar when it came to defense, but no worries because the defense should be much improved as they bring in Hassan Reddick from the Carolina Panthers. He recorded 11 sacks last year, which was more than guys like Leonard Floyd, Cameron Hayward, Joey Bosa, Chandler Jones, guys like that. And only TJ Watt, Myles Garrett, Trey Hendrickson, and Aaron Donald recorded more sacks in the past 2 seasons total than Hassan Reddick. Along with him, they drafted a mountain of a man in Jordan Davis, who won't light it up on a stat sheet, but he will light up whichever offensive lineman is right in front of him, and he'll be disruptive in the backfield. They also bring in linebackers Kaiser White from the Chargers, who's a tackling machine, as well as Nakobe Dean from the NFL Draft from Georgia as well. So it's safe to say that Howie Roseman was not playing when it came to buffering the front 7. Not only was the front 7 solidified, but the secondary should be absolutely elite. The biggest signing there was Pro Bowl corner James Bradbury, and they signed him to a 1-year, $10 million deal, which is, I think, a steal because he's one of the best corners in the league. He's second in the league in passes defended since 2019 with 47. He will no doubt be a disruptive contributor in the back end, as well as new acquired safety CJ Gardner-Johnson from the Saints, who's a very solid player, and I still have no idea why the Saints decided to make that decision, but I guess Christmas came kind of early for the Eagles. Those 2 huge additions will complement lockdown corner Darius Big Play Slay and Avonte Maddox, who is, by the way, one of the more underrated defensive players in the game. The defense as a whole should come together to be one of the best in the league this year, The talent is there, no doubt, and it's not like the Eagles didn't have talent as a whole, because they did. All that being said, with the undisruptive secondary and pass rush, with a quarterback in his second season with lots of improvement to make, and head coach Sirianni becoming head coach for the first time in his career, they figured it out and made the playoffs, going 9-7, and surprised many people, including myself, along the way. They found their identity, which is being the most physical team up front, at least offensively. I truly believe Jalen Hurts will be an improved passer as well, with him having A.J. Brown to throw to, as well as another year with Devontae Smith. Things should be much improved through the air. Although I do think they could benefit from one more quality wide receiver later down the line. We all know they're a run-heavy team that starts off with Jalen, but it's pretty much a balanced attack with Miles Sanders, Boston Scott, and Kenneth Gainwell all kind of splitting the carries as they try to ground and pound teams, and it worked for them last year for the most part. And I feel like around mid-season last year, they really kind of solidified that identity, and they kind of took off. They started off 3-6, and they ended up finishing 9-7, making the playoffs. The concerns I have for them is with them more than likely going to be running through the division and then heading into the playoffs. They won't be playing that much quality competition in their division that would have sharpened their iron for the playoffs. We see that with the Cowboys year in and year out. They have the second easiest schedule this year in terms of strength of schedule from the previous year. That's not their fault, but come playoff time, it'll be interesting to see how they stack up against the conference's best teams. Nick Sirianni is heading into his second year as head coach, and I expect him to be much improved as well. Not that he was bad or anything last year, but I do think there's always room for improvement, especially you being a second year head coach. The main reason why I believe the Eagles will be a scary team is that they have a true identity of who they are, which they established last year, and it worked. This year, they're going to be doing the same thing, plus a vastly improved roster. They'll handle, or at least they should handle, the NFC East. Dak will be out for at least a month and a half. Report just came out. Then looking out on the other teams in the NFC, there are question marks. Will the Rams have a Super Bowl hangover? Do the Packers have enough weapons for Aaron Rodgers? The 49ers and their middling QB situation? Will the Cardinals have another second half collapse? Will our Kirk Cousins and Jameis Winston trustworthy? Will the Bucs O-line hold up? I mean, I can go on and on with questions. And all these questions do have to be asked. They're legitimate questions. And yes, the Eagles have questions of their own. I'm not saying that they're absolved from all of that, but I'm saying that the NFC is not invincible. The teams at the top are beatable. At least that's what it looks like week 1. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about the Eagles. They're 1-0 right now. What is y'all's record prediction for the Eagles moving forward? Comment that down below. What's their ceiling like? Y'all tell me how far they can go if everything works out. That's all I got. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. And this is Jimmy from Just the Facts, and I'm signing out. Peace.